Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. We're in the shed. This is my shed where I keep all my car parts and stuff. And so what this video is about is after we blew the engine in the Daytona, it's just because I have to prepare a new cylinder head and build a whole engine from scratch. There's no way I would get that done in time for this Saturday's racing. So we pulled the neon out of here. It's in the shop now. We're going to get it ready. But while I was at it, I decided to tidy up because the stuff was overflowing the shelves and going all over the floor. That out there is all the stuff that got evicted. We'll have to deal with that next. Well, you know, they say when it rains, it pours. We got our neon out, got it all ready to go. I just wanted to race it for 1 week while we got the Daytona back up and running. But, well, look what happened. That's how it goes when you're racing cars, eh? We had a good qualifying spot and someone tapped us from behind and it spun me around right in front of the whole field. And a guy going by on the bottom caught it right in front of the wheel there, like full speed, and really messed it up bad. I don't know how hard he hit the wheel because it's cambered the wrong way now. So that either means that he got a little bit of the wheel, or it means that that tower has moved that way a couple of inches, which is pretty bad. So anyway, now we don't have any race cars, and this happened a few weeks ago. I just decided at that time that, you know what, I got no cars left, I got no engines left. It's time for me to pack it in. I'm so busy all the time. And now instead of having one race car to fix, I got two. So I said, you know what? I was going to hang up my helmet at the end of this season anyway. We just kind of moved that forward a little bit. But there's something we must do. This weekend, August 13th, I don't know when you'll see this video, but the 13th is the final fan appreciation night of the year when everybody comes down to the front straightaway and we hand out candy and stuff. And I still got a bunch of candy left and signed pictures for the kids. So we want to go out one more time. It's going to be the swan song for the old blue lump here. We got to get this old blown up thing out. And we've got the emergency backup engine ready to go in. That is literally the last engine that I have. It's not even a particularly good engine. It's just one that runs and stays together. It's got nowhere near the power that these things have, but it'll get me around the track and let me get through a night of racing. So I figured I owe it to this old car for it to at least finish its career by, you know, driving at speed under the checkered flag at the end of a feature, rather than getting scraped off the track by a tow truck like what happened to it last time. So anyway, let's get to work. This is literally the last neon engine I have. I mean, that works, you know. There's a bunch of cores over there against the wall, but they're for parts of rebuild, right? This one here is my emergency backup engine. It's not a Magnum. It's nothing special. It's just a single overhead cam, 132 horse neon engine. It come out of a 99 neon that we parted out. What this has going for it, it had 99,000 kilometers on it. And it's just a great little engine. It's never given me any trouble. And I always keep this thing around because when I'm really stuck, I can fire it in and get a night or two out of it. It doesn't have the power that the Magnums have, but it gets you through a night when you're in the thick of things in the points. It's as reliable as an anvil, this thing. So we're going to haul this thing over to the garage and throw it in the Daytona. Alrighty, here we go. Let's get this thing over to the shop. I guess we can do just a little backstory on the emergency backup engine. This is an engine that I've always kept around. So if we got jammed, we could just throw it in the car and it would get us through one night so we could collect our points or whatever. It's basically just a completely stock 1999 single cam neon engine, the 132 horse version. You can see here, it's got an orange head gasket. It's actually a used head gasket in this thing. This engine at one point was actually, I got stuck and I needed a twin cam engine. It got converted over to twin cam. It's got different pistons. You lose a little compression, but it ran and it worked and it got me through. But we put it back to single cam so we can use it, like I said, when we need. If you want to see the difference, the big difference on the Magnum engine or the Magnum head that we normally use is they raise the exhaust ports. Raising the exhaust ports gives the exhaust gas a much straighter path out of the combustion chamber, and they made them bigger. You can see there the difference in port size. Now the actual Magnum port is not near as large as this, but it's pretty close. You can see actually the shadow there from the header. That's the size of the Magnum exhaust port superimposed over the single cam port. And the Magnum port doesn't have, you can see almost half of the bottom of it is blocked by a coolant passage. Because they raised the port in the Magnum head, you don't have that. The only problem you have in the Magnum head, because they raised the port, is they suffer from oil return problems because it's pretty restrictive, the drains. But there's ways to deal with that. So basically all we've done with this, it has a Magnum camshaft in it, which is just slightly hotter than the normal neon cam. I mean, we're talking a difference of 132 horsepower or 150. And those exhaust ports make up most of it, not the camshaft. And it's got a set of Magnum valve springs in it that just help with the high RPM capability. And that's about it. In she goes. All right, the emergency backup engine is ready to go in. First thing we got to do is put the dowels in. I knocked them out when I put it on the stand. I guess probably what I have to do one day is just put a little counter bore in that so I don't have to keep knocking these dowels out all the time. And the other thing that we've done is turn the crankshaft until you can see here, this one converter bolt, the one hole is oblong. So we've turned the flex plate until that oblong hole is in the same position as the engine we just took out. That way, we'll have no problem getting our torque converter because it's an asymmetrical pattern. Now, okay, I'll push it in a little bit. Yeah, okay, now let it down some. Well, so far so good. Okay, pull it back a bit. I just gotta get the alternator under the, yeah, okay, good. Now let it down. I gotta get the alternator past this bracket and fuel line. Okay, well, getting stuck again. This one, it's still way easier than putting the engine in and out of the neon, I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. Okay, let her down some more. Hang on. Okay, so we've got two long bolts now kind of started through the bell housing to act as guide bolts. Now what we're going to do, give the crane a shove. Okay, lift it up a bit. Yeah, and I'll push it in. Okay, that's good. Hold her there.
There we go.
We've got our front motor mount in and secure, so now the two ends of it are secure. We've got the engine and transmission pulled together, so now we can let the crane down and get the heck out of here. Okay, so do I have a ratchet there still? I got the header bolted on, so now I gotta get some of this stuff underneath done. We're gonna start by getting the flex plate bolted to the torque converter. You go around, you put them in finger tight, just like that, and work your way around. Don't tighten any of them until you got all four of them in. All right, torque converter's bolted to the engine. What I'm gonna do now is, I gotta lift the front of this car up a bit. That was a little dicey under there. I'm a little taller than I used to be. We're moving right along. I've got everything done underneath. So I let the back of the car back down onto its wheels, and we're going to lower the front back down. I'll still leave it on stands because it just is easier on my back. I don't have to bend over so far. And we'll start hooking up everything on the top side. Now I got to put the starter in. Unfortunately, this one you can see when the connecting rod came out or something, maybe the piece of the block on its way by busted the end where the clip for the solenoid wire goes in. So there's no way now to positively keep that wire in there. So I'll have to go over to the shed and see if we've got another starter. We're slowly making progress. I found a good starter in the shed. And I forgot we're supposed to paint the numbers on the block a bright color so they can see them if they want to see them. Or at least we used to. I haven't really noticed if that rule is still there or not, but it's looking right at me, so I went ahead and did that. And now we're just slowly picking away, getting all the wiring hooked up and placed out of harm's way. We're getting pretty close to trying to start this thing. A little maintenance thing to address here is our fuel hoses are starting to get kind of cracked. So we're just going to slice this old junk off and replace it with some new stuff. So here's some new hose. It's number 6 or 3/8. This stuff, it's called Press Tight, or I can't remember. Everybody makes it. Fragola, all the big hose places. I get this from Summit Racing, and you just push it on, and it's there, or it keeps. You can't pull it off, no matter how hard you try. And this stuff is NHRA approved. It's good stuff. There, we got our new fuel hoses in. We've got a lot of this wiring tidied up. Now I'm going to drop the radiator in, and then we can put the throttle body and the air intake on. And I think that's about it. There's no more parts left in the back of it. So, and I don't even have any bolts left over. This is almost disappointing. There's been no adventure in this. And then I have to get some oil in it, get some coolant in it, and hey, we'll try and crank it up. Down in there, we did have a little bit of a water leak. I had to change this, the bypass hose, or the heater hose. Anyway, it connects the two nipples where the heater hoses used to go together, and the hose had a little nick in it, so we had to fix that. And aside from that, it's been good. So the coolant is in it now. There's nothing going on the floor. We'll see what happens when we get the oil in it. Okay, everything is all buttoned up now. There's water in it. There's oil in it. I've got a little water dripping out of the water pump, but that happens on these sometimes. And once you start them up and let them warm up one time, they stop leaking. So fingers crossed, that's what's going to happen this time. Anyway, we're going to now see if we can get this thing to come to life. Power is on. We have power. First thing we're going to do is make sure the fan works. Fan works. Now we're going to run the fuel pump a little bit just to make sure the rail is pressurized. Okay, now the moment of truth. We'll see if it starts. It takes a minute. The injectors are all full of air. Okay, let me get something to operate the gas pedal. Okay, here we go. We can always count on the emergency backup engine. No bubbling or anything in the coolant, that's good. Now we're just going to let it sit here and run until the fan comes on, so we're sure that that works. I haven't seen any more leaks, so that's very good. Another thing we want to make sure, good, our cooling system is getting pressurized. Perfect. Fan should start up any time now. Well, she was getting pretty hot, so I triggered the fan manually. I'm not sure why it wouldn't come on, but you can see now it's starting to drop, so we'll just run it with the fan on manual. I would guess that the coolant sensor down there is probably out of range a little bit. Or maybe the sensing bulb for my gauge is out of range. But it does feel pretty warm here. Anyway, it's cooling off now. Alright, we made it. Gauges all look good. She's ready to race. Well, that all went pretty well. It looks like the emergency backup engine is going to save my bacon yet again. All we got left to do now, we'll get it back up on the trailer, and then we'll get over to the racetrack and see if this old car's got any moves left in it for one final kick at the can. So I want to thank you for watching our video. Thank you for supporting our channel, and we'll see you next time. Until then, this is Kevin checking out from the Claremont Classic Garage. So long for now.